Hello and welcome to Football City TV. My name is Marcus Lee and we need to talk about the mental health of Andre Onana. Now, I wanted to do a video that was purely about love and concern for someone who I think is going through a difficult time. But then I've also seen some reports about things that he said, about his actions, his behaviour. And on that side, I just think, you're annoying me. Please stop doing what you're doing. So I've got two perspectives on this. I'm a little bit Jekyll and Hyde, and I want to just share my thoughts and opinions with you and see what you think as well. So basically, I was going to do something that was just about kindness and caring and niceness and let's show some love for Onana. But then I saw this this morning on X. This is courtesy of Graham Bailey. It's a quote that says, "Onana firmly believes that he has been used as something of a scapegoat. And he still thinks he's the best goalkeeper United have, but he's heading into a World Cup year and African Cup of Nations in January and wants to be playing, so he has accepted the move to Turkey." So yeah, he's off on loan to Turkey, as we all know. But the two things that jump out to me there are the fact that he believes he's a scapegoat, and also that he thinks he's the best United keeper, best goalkeeper that Man United have. Okay, right. Quickly, here's where I stand on Onana, right? When he came into the club, I was optimistic. I decided to be positive. I didn't want to say goodbye to David De Gea. I thought he was fantastic. I feel like the way that we let him go was bad. And I say we because, by the way, I am a Man United fan. So sometimes I'll say United, sometimes I'll say we. But I didn't want to see De Gea go, but I thought you've got to embrace change. You look into the future. You're looking to move forward. This can only be a good thing. He'd been fantastic in that Champions League final against Man City. So it's like, right, let's see what happens. First season, absolute write-off. Hate to say it, but he is the reason why I went out of the Champions League at the group stage, finished bottom of the group. Shocking performances against Bayern Munich and Galatasaray. So, the first season was not good, but it's a write-off. But okay, we're still going to be that optimistic Man United fan. David De Gea didn't have a good first season. Let's still be positive about the future. Second season starts. I remember we got to the Southampton game, where Southampton, newly promoted, we go to their ground, they're playing us off the park for 30 minutes, they then get a penalty. What happens? Onana saves a penalty. Right, okay, maybe this is it. This is the moment where we see the real Andre Onana. The future is going to be positive. Let's kick on. Let's move forward. Second season, here we go. How did that second season play out? Not good. In fact, really bad. Maybe worse than the first season. No, it was bad. Terrible goals conceded against the likes of Forest and Brentford, and countless mistakes that we could talk about. But then you get to that Europa League final where you're thinking, oh mate, just get down and save it. Just save it, because Tottenham had nothing to offer. And he concedes that. We don't win the Europa League final. We lose out on Champions League, and it's bad. So we now come into season 3. He's got the pre-season. He's got the summer break where he's got time off. He comes back. He's injured in pre-season, and he's talking about wanting a pay rise because he's lost out on money because United haven't qualified for the Champions League. His wage is going to go from like 170 grand a week to down to like somewhere like 120 or 130 grand a week. He still wants that money. And I feel like there's cheek there, mate. Everybody's lost out on money because we've all not qualified for the Champions League. Other players in that team haven't qualified as well. But you still want your pay rise, or you want your money to still be at this level. Do you not think, mate, that you are one of the primary reasons why we've not qualified for the Champions League? Do you not see how bad you've been? Do you look in the mirror and look at your performances and think, what is my part to play in this? I haven't been good. So I didn't like that about him. And I get that he's got a foundation. He does great things back in Cameroon, and the money that he makes, he puts towards that. But that's your responsibility. That's not the club's responsibility. You're the reason why, we're not there. So that's happened. And then obviously things like Grimsby Town happen. Ugh! I hate thinking about it, but you were so bad in that game that it's like, yeah, mate, you're not it right now. You need to move on. And Amorim's told him, like, mate, you're not going to be first choice. You're not going to be second choice. You're probably going to be third choice. So, right, okay, move on, go on and do your thing in Turkey. Right, okay. So let's draw some kind of line there. But thinking about the whole kind of mental health aspect, this is where I kind of come into the mental health aspect, okay? I feel like Onana's name has become a little bit synonymous with bad feeling and banter. Okay, so we've got a new keeper now, Limons. I think I'm saying his name right, pronouncing it right. I'll practice it as I hear more about him. When you get a new player at a team, what we do as social media fans in this social media era is when we haven't seen loads about the player, we tend to go online, we look for reels, we look for highlights, and you know, we try to find out about the player. Now, because Limons hasn't had a lot of playing time, he's only had really one, you know, senior season. There's not a lot of highlight reels out there. The ones that I found, it looks like a pretty standard goalkeeper. He's a big lad, he's tall, he comes out for crosses, gets down low, he saves some shots. All good. That's what we need him to do. That's all you need a goalkeeper to do. So when you look for those reels for Limons, it looks alright. When you go into YouTube or Insta or TikTok and you search for reels about Onana, there's more reels of him making mistakes and making errors and doing things wrong than there are of him doing good things. And that's where I say he's become synonymous with being a banter keeper. You know, it's more about laughing at Onana. It's more about looking what he's done badly. Look at how that's, you know, it's gone through his palm. Look at how he's punched that into nothing, or he's missed it. It's more about the mistakes that he's made. So when you type in Onana, it tends to be negative. When you type in De Gea, you know, it's all about, oh yeah, what a great keeper he was. Look at the legend that he was for United. We shouldn't have let him go. It's all of that. Never mind typing in, you know, Donnarumma's name, or, you know, Alisson Becker. You know, those keepers have good reputations. So I'm thinking Onana's name, you say it and it's negative. It's a joke thing. It's like, look how badly he's done. Now, this is where I come at it from a mental health perspective. How do you feel if you're Andre Onana and you type your name into a social media site and you look at the comments of what people are saying about you? How do you feel when all of those comments are negative? Now, I know that all footballers, all, you know, people in the public spotlight will have positive and negative things said about them. But when it's overwhelmingly negative, how does that affect you? How does that affect you when you lie down at night? How does that affect you when you wonder what people think about you? I compare this to Harry Maguire. Now, Harry Maguire, another Man United player, has had a very rough time in recent years. You know, bantered, laughed at, reels of him making mistakes, even to the point where he was discussed in Ghanaian Parliament.
Harry Maguire is a defender. Mr. Speaker, when even the opponents fail to score, Maguire will score for them.
That is a madness to be discussed in a foreign country's parliament. But the good thing about Harry Maguire is that he has had a genuine redemption arc. He's had a comeback. His career looked dead at Man United. There were points where we were looking to sell him to West Ham and just get him out of the club, and then just things fell apart at the last minute, and it's like, look, you're a bench player, mate. It's not worked out for you here. It's not going to work out for you. But it's like he's put in the hard yards, and he's had a comeback. He's fought, he's scored important goals, he's put in great defensive displays. Obviously, Ten Hag moved on and Amorim's come in, and he's got a new system. He's playing as part of a three at the back now. Not always a starter, but, you know, for large parts of last season, it was starting, and he's had a genuine comeback and he's looked good. You know, I think about that Lyon performance where he scored the 5th goal of that amazing 9-goal game. He scored penalties in penalty shootout. He's done a lot of good things. He has shown that if you put in the hard yards, you put in the graft, you can come back. Bringing it back to Onana, I think he can have a redemption arc as well. Probably not at Manchester United, somewhere else, but I still think he can have a great career. How does he do that? He's just got to do the basics well. Seeing Harry Maguire and his redemption arc, he's just doing the basics. Just head it out. Just clear your lines, put the tackle in, don't do anything stupid. Just play to the best of your abilities. Right, you might not play all the time, Harry, but you're doing your thing. And obviously, this 3 at the back that Amorim uses as opposed to the 2 at the back, it suits him, but he's doing his thing. Onana needs to go back and do the basics well. He needs to stand up. He needs to stop shots going into his goal. He needs to have stronger palms. He needs to come out and claim crosses. He needs to do the basics well. I saw highlights of him playing last night in a World Cup qualifier, Cape Verde versus Cameroon. He's in goal, and again, he's not doing the basics well. Cape Verde player, I think it's called Livramento, is running through, ends up one-on-one with Onana. Now, as a goalkeeper, What do you do when you're 1-on-1? You come out, you close down that space, you make it hard for the attacking player to score. But what does Onana do? He kind of stays in his 6-yard area. It doesn't really come out, doesn't close down that space. And then he ends up kind of diving, and then Livramento just bangs it down the middle. So it's like Onana has guessed where he thought the ball was going to go, and he's dived out the way, letting a simple goal. There's another opportunity later on where Onana does make a save, but then the ball goes out to a player who has a chance to score. But does Onana come out and close down the space? No, he just kind of just stands on his near post and doesn't really come out. It needs to do those basics well, and he's not doing them. So for Onana to revive his career, and he's still got a career cost, like, you know, he's going to have to play in Turkey. He's going to go make more money than he's making at Man United now, which is an absolute madness. Talk about failing upwards. He's done a Vincent Kompany, hasn't he? So he's going to go on, he's going to make more money at Turkey. I don't think he'll come back to Manchester United, but I think what Onana needs to do is that he needs to go and find a club where he can just do his thing, where he won't be in the spotlight all the time like he's at Manchester United. He needs to find his level. And you might say, well, Man United are 15th. Look, that's not a great club, is it? Yeah, but Onana's one of the main reasons why Man United ended up in 15th place. He needs to go find a club in Ligue 1 or La Liga or the Bundesliga, where, you know, maybe they're not fighting for top 4. Maybe they're just fighting for a Europa League place, or maybe they're just in 10th position or whatever. He just needs to go somewhere where he can play football, where the spotlight's not on him all the time, and he can just go home, go to work, do his thing, play football, come home, and it's not all about him. Just live your life, because, you know, not every player is going to win the Premier League or the Champions League or the World Cup. You know, loads of players just go to work, make a living, play their football, and they're not talked about all the time on social media. The focus isn't on them. Onana just needs to be able to do his job and live his life and go home. And that's ultimately about taking care of mental health. So that's what I think about Andre Onana. I would love to know what you think about the situation as well. Are you kind of supportive of him? Do you kind of appreciate, you know, the amount of criticism that players get online? And I know, yes, every player gets it, and you can argue that it's part of the job. But again, we're dealing with human beings. Or are you a bit like, well, just whatever, you've been crap, mate. You've not been good. So, you know, forget you. You know, everything that comes your way, you deserve. I'd love to know what you think. Obviously, you know, you can balance and you can have a foot in both camps. But let me know what you think. Anyway, that's my little rant about Andre Onana. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. This is Football City. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate your support. Let's grow this community. I'm out. Thanks for watching.